UFC 264 will be headlined by one of the most anticipated trilogies in UFC history. Dustin Poirier will face off against Conor McGregor in the rubber match for all the marbles. With the score tied at 1-1 apiece, this fight will prove to be the turning point in the lightweight division, with the winner getting a crack at the title next. In this video, we'll break down each fighter and how they match up against each other for the third time. First, let's take a look at the tale of the tape. Dustin Poirier stands at 5 foot 9 inches tall with a reach of 72 inches and a finish rate of 74%. Conor McGregor stands at 5 foot 9 inches tall with a reach of 74 inches and a finish rate of 91%. Now, let's take a look at the stand-up of both of these lightweights, with a focus around their last fight. Luckily for us, the last fight between these two helped us learn a lot about the improvements Dustin Poirier has made over the course of his career. The most important technique Dustin implemented in his second fight against Conor was none other than the calf kick. Dustin has fast and extremely hard leg kicks, but in his fight with Conor, precision is what helped Dustin finish McGregor. Both fighters being southpaw makes it easier for Dustin to attack Conor's lead leg. Being able to continuously land the kick on McGregor during the first round, he eventually rendered him immobile and flat-footed. But that's not all Dustin has improved on over the last 8 years. One aspect that helped him greatly against McGregor was his head movement and slips. McGregor can put out his opponents with one left, but Dustin was constantly moving in and out with his combos. Even when McGregor did catch him, it was on the end of his punches. Poirier is always adapting and learning from his opponents, and even implemented a few shoulder strikes in the fight. Poirier also utilized several crisp counters during their fight to sometimes punish McGregor for forward pressure, especially with the check right hook. Dustin highlights his strikes by often feinting takedowns with a slight level change to get his opponents to bite and drop their hands. His most efficient strike are his hooks, which he utilizes from all ranges such as the aforementioned feints. Dustin has more knockouts and knockdowns from his hooks than any other strike. Dustin doesn't shy away from firefights and uses a high guard and slick bobs and weaves to fight in the pocket with some dirty boxing. He never overcommits to any strike and is always careful to avoid overextending and leaving his chin out there. Dustin throws a lot of volume, having the third highest significant strikes landed per minute at 6.44 and the most knockout wins at 7 in lightweight history. When Dustin smells blood, he always goes in for the kill instead of clinching up or going for a takedown. He will unload with constant pressure and strikes to end the show. Now, let's take a look at McGregor. In their second fight, most people would say he won the first round against Poirier. At range, Conor was doing his best work like he usually does. He was able to effectively slip Dustin's strikes and land several ranged jabs and crosses. It's the same fighting style he's implemented throughout his career, luring in his opposing fighter before tagging them with quick 1-2s or a precision shot to the temple. Conor has always had the faster strikes in most of his bouts, and it will stay true during the rubber match with Dustin. Conor constantly cuts angles in the cage, putting pressure on his opponents in an indirect way and backing them into a corner. He did the same against Dustin's, and those were the moments where he found the most success. To keep his opponents guessing and at range, Conor utilizes quick jabs, often from the hip, and will occasionally swap out the jab cross for a cross jab or cross uppercut. As of late, Conor has avoided using kicks as much as he used to early in his career in exchange for a focus on boxing. One potential reason could be for the efficiency and to avoid gassing out, but in the rubber match it's probably safe to say that Conor will likely come prepared with calf kicks of his own to counter Dustin's. Conor has mastered the timing of his strikes and can counter perfectly to the slightest forward pressure by his opponents, like his fight with Eddie Alvarez. Much like Dustin, Conor also never overcommits to any strikes and knows when to pull back. He is patient and doesn't rush. Unlike Poirier, even if he clearly hurts his opponent, he will maintain his composure and wait for them to make another mistake, and they usually do. Conor has a 91% finish rate among his wins and the 6th highest knockdown average in UFC history at 1.81. So he's not a fighter you can afford to make mistakes with. Next, let's take a look at the clinch and grappling. Dustin is a jack of all trades, and it still holds true for both of these aspects. Dustin likes to mix up his striking with quick clinches or takedowns to keep his opponents guessing. Combining significant power with the threat of a grappling showdown is something Poirier has always utilized effectively throughout his career and in the rematch with Conor. In the clinch, Dustin uses excellent head position and strikes to land damaging blows or take a breather if he himself has been hurt. When it comes to takedowns, Dustin Poirier has elite level IQ to time his shots, especially when his opponents get sloppy. The same goes for overcommitting against Dustin. Fighters have often tried to take Dustin's head, and he's been able to take advantage of their overcommitting and take them down with a well-timed entry. His takedown of choice by far has been his power double. In the first round against Conor, Dustin shot a double leg and perfectly turned the corner to take him down easier than we've seen other people take him down. on the ground, Poirier is just as threatening as he is on the feet. Although submissions are not as prominent in Poirier's arsenal the way they were in the first half of his career, he's still able to utilize it when the opportunity presents itself. Where Poirier truly excels is in his ground and pound. From his featherweight days, Poirier has often prioritized ground and pound to hurt his opponent and then try to move into a more dominant position like the full mount. He's able to land some serious power shots like the short elbows to devastate his grounded opponent. When it comes to Conor McGregor, he's revolutionized the clinch. Okay, maybe not revolutionized, but he's definitely shown that there's some unorthodox strikes you can land and damage your opponent with, like the shoulder strike. In the clinch, Conor likes to get his underhook in to try to break cleanly or land a shot or two before gaining distance between his opponent, since he's not a fan of fighting in the pocket. His grappling defense has been above average, which is what allowed him to go on his triumphant run back in the mid-2010s. He has a takedown defense of 67% and a takedown accuracy of 55%. By grabbing one overhook and one hand on the bicep to never let them close their hands and finish the double leg. When he's aware, he's also been able to stuff the likes of Khabib, but due to his stance, he's been prone to quick single legs against top level grapplers. Offensively, it's been a long time since McGregor utilized takedowns as part of his game plan. Jiu-jitsu wise, Conor McGregor has never attempted a single submission in his UFC career, so safe to say he won't be utilizing it against a black belt in Poirier. Now, how do each of these fighters ensure they take the trilogy? Dustin Poirier, although the victor in their last bout, has to shore up a lot of things. As he mentioned himself, he left himself open and Conor had him stunned in the first round. Poirier took quite a few shots that could be fight ending if allowed again. Poirier needs to keep his guard high and not get too comfortable taking shots. In most of Conor's fights, he likes to stand wide and sideways to allow for quick kicks, but this leaves him vulnerable to short and hard calf kicks, especially against another southpaw. Dustin was able to utilize this to finish the fight, and we can be sure to see more calf kicks in their next bout. Conor is sure to have worked heavily on either defending or countering calf kicks, so we'll see what adjustments he's made. Grappling is one aspect where Poirier has the overwhelming upper hand. If he's able to stay in the pocket with McGregor, he'll be able to land his hard strikes and power double, all while staying away from Conor's game plan. For Conor, this fight has proven to be extremely difficult. Poirier may not rely on his wrestling as his primary game plan, but he can switch it on at will if needed. Early in the fight, Conor was piecing up Dustin from range. Even though he only has a 2-inch reach advantage, he was able to land so cleanly due to his footwork and ability to slip and counter. For the upcoming fight, Conor will likely aim to keep his distance and implement his strikes from range while avoiding the light kicks and wrestling of Dustin. We live in an era where the lightweight division is still the most polarizing division in the sport, even after the champ retired, and that's because of fighters like Dustin and Conor. This trilogy has proven to be one of the most exciting and hyped up trilogies we've ever witnessed. Will Conor McGregor be able to get his vengeance and tell the sport that he's truly back? Or will Poirier win back-to-back and move on to fight for the lightweight strap? We'll find out at UFC 264. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out our Discord channel. It's a place where you'll be able to meet other MMA fans, communicate, have fun, watch fights with, even get betting advice. Check the link in the description below. Thanks for watching our video. If you enjoy our content, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.